Hi guys, and welcome back to Maths with Miss S. This is part 4 on equations, and in this video we'll have a look at how factorizing can actually help us solve quadratic equations. Now, we already know how to factorize quadratics, and we'll use that same procedure right there. We just bring along our equal to 0 in the steps as well. So we have x squared, the factors of that are x and x, and for minus 14 I'm gonna start off with 14 and minus 1 as my potential factors there. I cross multiply and check if I get to the middle value. If I do not get there, it means I got the wrong factors. So I'm gonna retry that with 7 and 2. Again, one of them has to have a minus, and since we want to get to plus 5, I'm gonna try and see if the minus put with the minus 2 there actually gives me 5x, and it does indeed. So that means I found the correct pairs there, and I can now put brackets around the first and the second row. So I get x plus 7 in the bracket and x minus 2 in another bracket, and I have now factorized my quadratic expression there, and it's still equal to 0 because it was an equation there. Now, in any multiplication, there's no way that you're multiplying numbers with each other and you get the result 0 unless one of these two numbers was 0. There's no other way, and this knowledge is what we're using here. So it's either x plus 7 that has to be 0, that means x would have been minus 7, or we want x minus 2 to be 0, and that would only be the case if x would be 2. And in order to check that now, if these two x values that we got there are actually the solutions, we can feed them back into the equation and check if there's a true statement in the end. So if we fill in x1 into that equation, we have minus 7 in brackets squared plus 5 times minus 7 minus 14. Minus 7 squared is 49, 5 times minus 7 is minus 35, and minus 14 there is equal to 0. Let's just type that into the calculator pretty much, and then say 0 is equal to 0, which is a true statement, and we're done. Now we do the same thing with the second solution, so we're going to retry that. We're going to put 2 into the spots where x originally was, so we're going to put 2 in the brackets squared plus 5 times 2 minus 14. 2 squared is 4, and 5 times 2 is 10, so we have 14 again, and 14 minus 14 gives us 0, which again is a true statement. 0 is equal to 0. We've now shown that both of these x values were actually solutions of that quadratic equations, and whenever that's the case, we call these the roots of the equation.